everyone, today I'm trying a new longer format for gameplay, so I'd really appreciate if you guys could watch the video and give some input on what you want to see in the future. But today I'm going to be going through some scrim games in the replays and explain my thought process, as well as having a guest explain their thought process, with this video going over support, which will be showing off some Flingza, Dreadringer, and Splash-O-Matic from Shadow. And if you guys like this, let me know what you want to see changed, and I could have other players, other roles, other weapons on in future to help give a little bit more of an example of what goes through the mind of higher level players during these kind of matches. So this kind of educational content works for you, please let me know. I'm planning on keeping this to be longer form stuff, so there'll be around 30 minutes for each video, and hopefully it gives some good insight. Alright, I hope you enjoy. Hey everyone, I figured I'd try and give a bit of my thought process, critiques, you know, basically what I'm trying to do through some scrim games here, so that's what we're going to do today. This match is with Splash and S-Blast. We're against Vanguard here. Very similar comps on both sides. I've been struggling about the S-Blast matchup, so on opening here, my initial thought is I want to keep left stack under control, try to put some pressure on right stack, but I can't really overextend until we get cooler, so I'm trying to play for my slider. I only poke there because I notice everyone backs off. I'm basically just waiting for cooler to push their stack. We get it about here. We have Crab, and I have the S-Blast pushing, so we go here. I Squid Surge on top of this block just to try to mix up where I'm landing here, so I can slider their side, because I was worried the Zuka might pre-fire the wall, but I see that they're all looking at the Crab, so I slider this block. I didn't quite get the diagonal angle enough to hit the Zuka when it drops right side, but this still forces one into the Crab and two back here. My S-Blast is able to get the kill here, so I jump back to make sure I don't die. I pull Crab a little bit before jumping. I always try and wait just a tiny bit if I can. Once I get hit with one AoE, I tend to jump out, go for the S-Blast kill in the corner since I'm still coolered, and we're coming back here. So my priority here right now is trying to get Slider for retake so I can get behind the pillow and pull. Maybe helping with left stack if needed. I noticed we get a few kills though, so I'm just getting some paint control on right side in case they have a shark. I probably should have pushed out faster here. We're down 2. I'm putting bombs on right stack in case they have jumps, and I see that one drops right side. So again, I'm playing a little patiently here while my teammates come back. And then I'm trying to poke the mid pillow here. I see the dually on left side, so I'm rotating to make sure I can keep an eye on that. They back off. Now I want to slide a right side once again, but I can't just walk in right now since the pen is watching. And I'm being, like, very careful of the S-Blast with their damage here. If I can wall at the pillow, that'd be good. Here I should have just slidered way faster to help with Clef, but I hesitated a little bit. I still got a bit lucky that they were already weak enough for me to get some damage there. Now I'm going to go for Cooler a little bit after the S-Blast moves. And now that we have plenty of people fighting left stack, I decide to push right side. I see, like, 3 people here, so I go for some damage. Nobody gets picked off, unfortunately. But I'm able to force the pen to jump back and one of them to turn around, so that gives my team an opportunity. I slider here purely because my cooler's about to run out, so it lets me clear the left stack and pillow very quickly, make sure nobody's there, and from there I can move up here. They have Crab on right stack, so I don't want to rotate away yet. I'm trying to poke left side. I keep my distance here so I don't get dropped on. I'm fighting a lot of short-range weapons and I can't kill them that fast, but I decide to back off a little more here. They use Zuka, so now I'm waiting out, try Zuka. I'm pushing left side. I made sure to try to stay away from Crab since that's where the Zuka was likely to shoot at. And here I'm just trying to clear the pen, make sure they go all the way back and keep some pressure on left side. Once again, I'm trying not to camp too close to this ledge. I mess up a bit there, but I get kind of lucky that the slider works out. And then I'm immediately swimming around because I figure that someone will try to jump on me. We get a good kill here, and now we have a really big advantage here. I'm trying to put some pressure on the cooler on this left side since I see someone trying to push it, but no one ends up moving through there. And now I see we have someone pushing right side and pulling attention, so now I can safely walk across left. I have Slider. Our pen gets a kill on the person I'm focusing, and I Slider here mostly just to help keep my jump safe. That allows Zeros to get a pick here, get the landing. I jump out so I don't die, and here I feel confident taking the fight with the Zuka since they're already a bit low. And that's the first game. So, next up, I'm with Kyo, Sam, and Biscuit against Vanguard once again. They're playing with Obito this time. And I'm trying out a little bit of Flingza Roller. I think that this might be a weapon I want to play a little bit more, and I just want to know a bit more about it. So, this weapon has some very strong long-distance pain, not as much up close. Very hard to dive due to horizontal flick. That's the tools we're going to be playing around, but most importantly is Missile. So I paint the bottom left side to avoid taking up paint from the pen. Try to get missiles early so that when we have cooler, we have missiles up and we can push. I put a mine here just because I have time. I have the ink tank for it, so I might as well just set one up. And I see that the S-Blast is weak, so I go for damage on that. And here I'm sharking trying to bait bubble, which I do. But here you're going to see me whiff all my shots and die. Because that happens sometimes. I think I was just a bit too far from the splash. But we're going to jump in here, and now I have to fight. I know the S-Blast is pushing top. We have a mine down here already and a bunch of teammates, so I'm trying to play off this and just get damage. Because even a little bit of damage from my weapon, and the Stamper and Bucket will be able to kill people much more easily. Even the Pen will be able to one-tap people. So my goal is really just to make that a lot easier. I jump out here because they have Crab. I'm always trying to not give up space unless I absolutely have to. This is a big resource game. So getting Crab out of the way is very good because now they don't have Crab to hold this. So I missile primarily bottom left, try to get it a bit on Pen, and again, helping with damage. You'll see I'm usually trying to look at where my front lines are going and helping them, though I overextend to the S-Blast here. We're still just fighting, though. I use a roll here because I see they dash past, and I wasn't sure I had enough time for a horizontal. So I thought they might have dashed into the roll and gotten picked off there. That actually happens sometimes. But, you know, a little bit risky to go for it. And here I'm not going to overextend. I don't know what's behind that corner. I don't know if there's a front line sharking, so I didn't want to push there. Instead, just wanted to play to help clear this bottom left side, because I know I'm close to missile. Here I'm waiting to missile a little bit longer for front lines to come back, but the S-Blast pushes me, and that forces me to pop my missile to make sure that I'm not in a bad position. Trying to help kill, but again, goes down. And you can see I'm being very cautious of S-Blast. Very easy for them to direct you in your vertical flick. So I'm not going to overextend for anything, and now we get top mid control. So now priority shift a little bit. I want to help with damage, cover different angles, and preferably set up mines up top. Mines are a very good resource just to hold space without you directly putting any investment into it, so I can just set them up during downtime. I'm flicking to try to combo off the bucket damage like I've talked about before. And here I see, okay, everyone just rotated over here. There's plenty of paint. So once I see that I'm not needed, I'm not finding any damage, I'm jumping to the right side, and I'm going to try to missile from this angle and look for follow-up. You don't want to be painting too much unless you really need paint control during missile cooldown. So here, I'm looking to fight, I'm looking to do damage because I can't farm another missile anyway, and then once that cooldown is up, then I can be more defensive. Sam also rotates to where I am because we lost some space left side, so I want to make sure I'm not stacking with them. I need help with Biscuit here, make sure that he doesn't get dived. And then from here, I get some damage on Decav. I'm trying to push a little bit because they're 2 down, but I see the jump in, so I'm not committing to a vertical flick here. Always be a little cautious when you're going for vertical if you're pushing into space where there might be jumps, because you don't want to commit to it and just die on landing to like Decav or S-Blast one-shots. And from here, I'm being very patient. I don't want to overextend for the S-Blast. I just want to keep paint nearby. I'm waiting for missiles, and again, focus on the front line. Trying to keep paint for them, missiles for them. We have strike as well, and only when I see that they're fine is when I'm going to rotate. By now, the S-Blast and Decav both overextended. And from here, it's just a pretty safe hold. They're all dead, and that is this game.
Moonlight Shadowwind Splash tutorial. Here we go. The thoughts inside the mind of a Splash user in high-level gaming. Okay, so basically with Splash, you either start off with 2 things. You either get a crab early game, or you just walk into mid and throw burst bombs at the enemy. This game, I go for a crab, because the enemy has a bubble. So, paint Summon Swan, walk forwards a little bit. Once I got my crab already, rip it instantly. They're pretty far back. I could have used this crab a little bit farther forward, but this is to get my team farther forward. You see Omega going in with it. Get an assist because I'm firing shots at the right stack. Then we got all this space. I can move up. See the decav, free fire it. My teammate crossfires. Shout out Omega. Love that guy. And then we move. I'm here with my team. Do what I can. I get jumped on by Synapse. Nolan trades me out. I'm back to Basil. I'm ready to paint the zone. I jump back to Basil, not my other teammates, because my jump would have gotten camped and I would have died again. I jump back to Basil to make sure I'm safe, and I can paint the zone over the strikes. Then I try to set up Omega in his fight. I see the decav. I'm able to trade him. I try to hold on to the zone, but I did not see the gal swim around me. The gal gets 2. Sad. Nolan can trade it out, which is good. But now they're kind of getting left stack. And here, I could have gone to bottom left to try to get left stack back, but I dropped mid to get this cooler, and now I go for left stack. I could have tried helping Omega in the mid fight, but I wanted left stack control here, because this is the best spot for support to be. So I pre-fire 1, watch the guy dropping on me, and then try to live. Very weird spec cam, but I didn't make it on top of the block. So I grabbed to live, and grabbed my teammates forward. Paint over the strikes. Watch the gal as the gal presses Basil. Pincer that. We got cooler. We got paint on the zone, which means it's time to run forwards. I got paint on the left side for Omega, because we didn't know where the gal was right now. So we were looking around, the gal's called out. I go back. Right here, you think I can crab to hold the zone, but the issue is I'm right on top of Basil. And crabbing in the same spot as Basil, we're just both looking at the same areas with the same firepower. So it's not super helpful. I gotta reposition the right stack. I was gonna squid roll up here, but my cooler ran out, so I couldn't squid surge, whatever it's called, up there fast enough. I fight the right stack with Omega. Live a little bit. Shark out the guy right stack. Get my trade. I see the jump. I call it out to my teammate. Nolan doesn't die to the jump now, which is fantastic. It's a very scary jump there because they have strikes, but did it anyways. Basil was backing up, and I knew that they were gonna attack Basil, so I shark on the stack and then get the kill. I aggress again because I got cooler, trying to make space for my aggros. I see that there's a gal top right. I'm trying to make space in the front anyways. Still aware of it, I'm watching. My movement was a little shaky here, but it works out. Omega called one bottom left, so I was able to throw a burst bomb at it to clean it up. Nolan hits a nice shot on the guy bottom right, so I'm trying to follow up with him, going right stack, and getting the zone for him. To follow in his wake of destruction. Thought they were going to peek the wall, did not, but I'm trying to take this right area, because they didn't see that Omega jumped into the right stack. So I'm trying to bomb for that. Didn't go for push right stack. Was fine. You know, I back up to main. Try to keep paint on the zone here. I could have pushed these guys bottom right, but I chose to crab here because I wanted to look at the right stack. Definitely a really passive crab right now, but Nolan kind of hits two insane shots, so it works out. I shred the wall. I try not to give up my life here. I let Omega do the fighting, and I just clean up at the very end. I get shot, unfortunately. But yeah. Omega can clean up the kill. Anyways, I'm back. They're trying to cap the zone again. I'm annoyed. I'm painting over the zone. When they're trying to cap with strikes, you can throw a burst bomb through the strikes to paint, like, as the strike is going on. Super effective to try to hold. Trying to paint from a safe location. I need left stack. We're calling out the guy bottom left. I'm looking. Kind of whiff a little bit to get the job done. And my team is insane. Omega called out that there was a gal pushing him bottom right, so I ripped this crab. Try to get a lot of damage there. And if you're in ball form, you can get walloped by a suction bomb to the back of your crab. So you have to be careful about using ball form if you can see a suction bomb coming like that. So that was my mistake, and I think we lose zone here because of that. No, we keep. Oh, we got a lead here. That's right. There's two right stack. I can see that there's multiple pushing left. I'm trying to keep zone here. I should have backed up a little bit earlier because keeping zone here was a little too hard. They had a bubble. Good clean by Omega. But I can jump into Basil here since we have left stack control. And I have cooler. They're two down, which means I can fight. I try to take this space that they don't have. I don't need to go for a kill right now since Omega's in zone and they're kind of pincered. So I'm just trying to live, keep that space because Omega's going crazy. No reason for me to take that fight on the splash. I mean, I'm coolered, but I can just easily go back to the zone, keep this paint, and get this space on the right. And here's actually a pretty rough spot because I missed camping this jump because the decav dropped on me. And I choose to crab so I can live 100% and make sure that they don't go to zone. So I get bubbled, and that means they can't go to zone. Hoorah! All right,
Yes.
what's up? What's up? We're back at it again. Moonlight Shadowwind, the player of Moonlight that ProChara coaches. I'm on Moonlight. My name is Shadowwind. I have a YouTube. Please go subscribe. I play Splash. Anyways, let's get to the games. Alright, they have a Neo Splash and a Wiper, which means they're going to want to stand in that little spot behind mid. So what I do is I get opening crab. That's right. Same thing I talked about last game, you either get opening crab or you rush down mid. They have a gal and a Wiper, so I feel like just grabbing it instead of fighting it. I see the gal on the right side. It makes me very scared. But either way, I'm going to crab and I'm going to look at the mid guys. Because Omega and Nolan, they need, how do I say this? They need nukes on the zone, and I can provide those nukes. But there's a gal flanking me, so I have to be very careful. I provide the nukes on the zone, and then boom, boom. Oh my goodness, what a kill. We're going to have to replay that. ESPN replay, hold on. And if you subscribe to my YouTube with notifications on, I will be having a crab tank guide coming out soon. So if you want to do cool stuff like this, hey man, turn on the bell. Anyways, I throw bombs on right side to help set Omega up, and then I see the splash is low and left, so I try to take that space. Basil gets the kill for me. What a bum. And then there's a hammer behind me somehow. We lose zone. What's happening? There was a Wiper in zone that killed Basil that got zone, since we're all so far forwards. I come back to try to help Nolan. Nolan is super cooked. That's a hammer. Basil kills the hammer again. For the first place. Omega kills one in spawn, and they're two alive. I don't want to take right side right here. I want Omega to take right side. So I'm keeping my crab ready for when they start going. And I trust Basil can paint this zone, so that way I can crab forwards to put damage near their cooler and to help Nolan get in. So Nolan goes in there. I'm crabbing the zone, trying to assist with some kills. Doesn't work out, unfortunately. We get a nice clean.
Okay.
Because I tried to help in the fight. The pen, right side. I get the zone. I see the people left. So I'm trying to help in this fight. Omega gets a crazy double with my burst bomb. I think he one-shot them, but so my burst bomb would did not help at all. But it felt like it helped, okay. Hammers in zone. I'm recording. Say hi to ProChara YouTube.
Oh! Sorry.
So the hammer's right zone kills me, unfortunately. Just tried to clean up the fight, didn't work out. We make the call to go right side here, and we clean up the gal. And in this scenario, I see that two of my teammates are front zone, and I know that if I go super far right, that the pen is gonna look at me instead of the front. And that's exactly what I want. I can be over here just fine, but look at Omega. Oh my goodness, look at this guy. Literally dashing through the zone. Dashingly handsome and dashing through the zone. Look at him. Dies instantly. Fair.
What? Sorry.
I go back because we are missing the zone, and I did my job. I have crab right now and no cooler, so helping this fight is very dangerous, so I kind of play my life and make sure I crab here, so I make sure the guys in zone don't push Nolan. Try to crossfire for Omega. Nolan is in his own fight. Basil is kind of isolated right side, so I make a call here. We want to help out Basil a bit more. I'm aware of the hammer, and it's only the pen, so I can take all this space front. Take all this front space. I shouldn't have dropped here. I should have stayed top left with my crab. Unfortunately, I did not. So now, Nolan doesn't have anyone protecting him left side because I'm on the zone since I dropped from left side. If I stayed left side and helped Nolan, he might have not died since I would have had a crab left. So that's notes for me. I crab in the front here. I was aware of the bomb that time, learning from previous mistakes in the last game. I crossfire with Omega, get a nice two-piece. I wanted to go for more, realize, hey, I need the cooler first. Super greedy burst bombs, like way too greedy, but it did help Omega get a lot of space on the right side. But we lost cap because of it, so not super worth at the end of the day. And again, this is kind of rough for me. I gotta be left side helping Nolan. See how he dies again? I gotta be over here helping him. They're rushing to the front of the zone. I'm kind of waiting for the hammer to pop out. I am cheating, apparently. That's just the spec cam. I'm not actually cheating. Me and Nolan look at the left guy. Synapse is insane, kills us both. And Basil holds the space on right side. So I'm able to go right and try to help with this fight. And since I'm close to Crab, I just hold this right area that Basil had earlier. Help with the splash for Omega. And see how I'm crabbing all this left area? And Nolan and Omega have the entire area to move up with that space. I burst bomb the hammer because I know I can't kill the hammer in that scenario, but Basil, who has a sightline, can. So I just try to get a little damage. Right now, I'm in a 1v3 on zone. I know that splash does not want to fight me, and I know that they have jumps coming in. So fighting this is kind of a death wish. So I play my life. I get my crab again. Making sure there's no one sharking me or right side. For good reason, because there was. And then I grab the guys on zone since the flank is cleared out. My aggros run up with it. I tell them to look right side because I'm nuking the right side. And then I help left. Unfortunately, I try to help left a little too much and then end up getting nuked myself. So you have to play this little game of hot and cold while you're helping. Again, I can't get the kill on the wiper in that scenario, so I just burst bomb it to try to help Basil. I see it's just the pen on the left side, so I go for a kill. I see the hammer. Again, I can't get the kill in that scenario. I mean, maybe I could have, but reactive. It helps my team finish up the kills, and that's the game. Heck yeah, subscribe, Moonlight 2025. Those are my goats.
So we have another Flingza game here. I'm playing with a S-Blast Slosher Pen comp, so a lot of chip damage to work around. Very close range triple aggro comp on their team. They don't really have a support of any kind, so they're going to play very aggressively, very different comp styles to work around. I like to start by going top left just so I can see around this wall if anyone's trying to paint left side. And I'm putting damage under here, mostly trying to work off of my teammates' damage, so I'm listening to like Max calling the Luna, for instance, so I can get the 40 hit there, and waiting to initiate with missile. Here I get a few picks because of the missile, and I'm trying to push the edit, but I have to be very careful. Usually when they're all down like that, especially if they have a weapon like Luna that'll die a lot, you have to be careful to make sure you don't die to jumps here. A lot of my team went down. I think this was a bit of a mistake. I wanted to take the position quickly since our aggros were down, but the 52 just kind of ignored me and was able to rush the rest of my team. So I think I needed to more directly fight and trade my life out rather than playing for the position since I still had cooler. On defense for this map, I think securing left side is important. I paint that wall since it's a bit less risky to climb up that way, but I'm mostly playing for missile to clear the top left since that's one of the main areas you have to watch out for. Here I'm trying to help with the 52, now I'm trying to help with the edit and just slowly gain ground. But I'm trying to push up here to get damage with the Booyah. Unfortunately, no kill. I'm jumping back, looking for the bucket. Got a little stuck here, but I got him. And here I'm also just being very careful. I try to pull behind them because most of my team is dead. Unfortunately, I just kind of whiff on the 52, and my flick is poorly timed with the Luna jump. But I think the play was still good. I just poorly executed it there. But I still have like a cooler respawn and everything, so I'm not too late on missile timing. Luckily, I didn't die to the bomb here. But same thing, I'm always trying to get top left here, and then go from there. Here I drop on bucket a little bit, but I think that play was just bad. Luckily, I had cooler to jump out, but it wasn't really worth going there by myself. Here I have missile on 2, and every time I try to missile, I try to take some form of space here. I look for damage on bucket in case he got hit by missile, because 2 missile outside hits will combo with my vertical. And here I get a call that there's someone behind, so I make sure we clear that, and then we can cap zone. So from here, I'm trying to play a little more defensive. We still have players up, but this time I think it's like the opposite problem. No one really took top right. So me playing back here is now just being very passive, standing with Basil. Whereas if I was further forward, I could help with those strikes going off and fight forward. And that might have made the big difference here, because I'm not really able to help with the gal or anything, so we just kind of lose space here. And Basil's fine dealing with the zip caster, since she could just swim around. Anyway, we kill the landing. We're painting zone, we get missile. And again, just trying to use these missile timings to go in with. I see 2 people drop on the low ground, so I'm being a little careful here to watch flank, trying to get damage on 52, putting flicks over the wall. Just being extra cautious not to let them up onto the high ground is really the main thing I'm focused on, more than paint or anything, because I don't want people to sneak in. I go for the Luna here. I accidentally jumped down here. I expected to land on the grates, but I jumped to the wrong person. So that gets me killed there. I set up ink mines more because I just don't have a whole lot to do here. My ink tank's not really a concern with the last ditch I have, and I don't have as much to do. So it's like, okay, if things go wrong and they approach, I have some defense set up so that we don't get ran into easily. I almost died at 52. So I'm trying to hang back here, stay away from Luna, bait people into ink mines. Once we have the space, I'm fine just missiling 2 people. I'm not really too picky on the missiles as long as they, like, go off at the right time for us to push. It's okay if less people are missiled, especially on a map like this. And again, here I'm trying to play to pull attention to the right side. Unfortunately, Flingza's wall paint is just terrible, so I get stuck because of that. So I needed to use my roll to paint the wall instead. Luckily, I still have a jump in a good position. I get damage on the edit, and I try to go for a follow-up here, but I think I'm angling my flicks a little bit too high up. Luckily, we get the assist on the bucket here, and again, very close to missile. But you notice a lot of times I'm trying to play to get 40 damage to my teammates so that they're able to get kills off of me. I use missile here regardless, mostly because it's a desperate situation, but also because I was rather sure they were going to have jumps, and I didn't want to stall for the landings. I'd rather win the fight quickly, because then we can take space more, like, a lot faster, and I want us to be more aggressive. So now I'm taking the wall. I hear someone climbing up the wall, so I flick. I get really lucky to only kill them in 1 hit here. And I'm basically just painting my front lines forward, but I get calls that there's a flank behind, so I'm trying to help with this a bit more carefully here, but I'm not going to get too greedy, because it's really important we don't get picked up. Even though they have our zone, we have theirs, and so I don't want to rush 52 a little too early. I'm mostly playing my space. I put mines on the Luna landing in case something goes wrong, in which case the mines get forced early, but it's still enough, and then my teammates are able to take out the 52. So very patient play there, waiting for the recall to find a better opportunity to push their team. And again, I missile early here, because I'm going to watch the flank. I'm not going to have anything to do, and I want my teammates to play aggro. So you can see my fronts are absolutely using the missiles to go in. I paint over strikes, because by now we've won the fight pretty handily. I try to paint the wall a little bit so that their aggros can't climb up as easily. But we're still a little bit scary with 2 down. Basil jumps back, so I know Basil's going to land here. I'm trying to keep paint alive while people are moving around. I don't need to look at caster, because it recalls very soon, and it's in a bad spot. So we wait that out. I have mine here, and then I'm looking at flank because the rest of my team watches front to make sure I help Basil once again. And we narrowly get the overtime comeback. So not too much to say there. All right, this next game is against Kyo, Dart, Gray, and Gamer. And we're dealing with a composition of just a lot of sharking weapons. So going into this, I'm going to be looking a lot into wanting to trap where players are going. I'm going to open up watching the left side of the map. I should have probably started by sloshing underneath the center right away because roller tends to go here, but you can see they managed to get past. And from here, I just kind of call that the roller's there, have us not focus on and focus the center of the map. I'm looking for a slider on the right here. I don't mean to get stuck on that block, so that gets my slider angle cut off. Managed to get a kill on the jump in, but I wanted to slider all the way into the trench, try to get a good position to attack from. From here, I'm trying to look for where roller might be going, making sure I'm killing bubble here. Bubble's down, I have damage. I noticed both players die, but I'm pretty sure I hit the S-Blast, so I'm looking under tents, trying to make sure that's clear without keeping my eyes off the front. You can see I'm spacing really defensively so that when this Mint and Roller jump me, I'm not in lethal range. Really important I can get 2 shots off. I mostly just want to play to trap these weapons. Now that we have advantage, I want to push up aggressively here. I'm kind of just slidering to gain as much distance as possible. I incorrectly assumed the S-Blast is not from spawn, though. I should have been a bit more careful and tried to jump from there rather than trying to stay behind them. But we have Cooler and a Bubble and a lot of tools to stall. So here I'm trying to help with the decav, but I missed my initial shots on them. I'm going to now check left side to make sure they can't get Bubble onto the high ground, make sure I give jumps to my pen. Gonna try to shred this bubble here, but now I'm out of ink, so I have to back off from this extra bubble over here. I'm trying to watch the left side in case there's flanks. We have good calls on the roller. Now that the roller's dead, I'm looking for where decav might be sharking. So a lot of just cautious, safe play here, a lot of spacing, a lot of painting, just to make sure that I'm not going to get surprised by one of these weapons here. So now I'm trying to look to find where roller is. I see roller on 10. I know where everyone is. Now I'm trying to look for a good slider. I wait for Cooler. I ideally want to help slider left. I get some damage on roller here, trying to make sure I can get the kill on him. Takes a little bit, but we finally get it there. Our pen goes down. I slider here because the S-Blast was basically trapped and being fought. I decided to take the fight with the edit since they're a bit low. And once I see the bubble, I'm just immediately jumping out. I'm always careful with Cooler to look for a chance to just jump out. So I already pulled enough resources and got picks. I didn't need to be too careful there. Here I'm commenting to my team that I'm not in range to help. I'm just trying to make sure that the fronts don't get too much further. So again, a lot of spacing so I don't take lethal damage from these weapons. Very important. And here I'm looking to use slider to get back in a zone if possible and putting bombs under tent. Trying to find if there's an S-Blast down there, but I'm going to slider just to be a little safe on the cap here. Not sure if it was 100% necessary, but I just wanted to make sure that we didn't like randomly get sharked and lose the game there. I knew I had a safe jump back to tent. Here I'm going to push left side and go for the edit since I got damage early, but unfortunately I whiffed my second shot there. I think it was still a good fight to go for, though, to pull them away from the center of the map. So here I see that the decal's behind me, so I'm just being a little bit careful there. And here, once again, I'm trying to look to push into their spawn, now that I know all of them are dead. Because ideally, I really want to keep them off the tent. Could have weapons be annoying there. I want to watch drops on the side. So I see the roller down there, but my bucket's watching it, so I'm going to go in the bubble. And I go for a pretty greedy slider here, because I thought that they would peek the ledge, which is what happens. Here they have bubbles, so I try to go for a kill there, where you shoot the bubble to shrink it and bomb the person, who would then go on the outside. And from here, we have a pretty safe advantage. I need to watch out for tent, making sure I put damage over the ledge to wall at roller, just keeping it away from key positions. And that's the rest of this game.